Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is another adventure in Canada. Please save me from the code. I've had enough of the honking. I thank God for the truckers fighting for what they're fighting for, but I've had enough of the honking and the code. The next one's about Caddy. Caddy. His nickname's Caddy, the Calabrosaurus. Essentially, it is a 20-foot long mega serpent. Yeah, I hate snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Southern around the northern part of the west coast, it is heard mirrors of a horse, and its body's like overstuffed eel. Northern part of the west coast is its head mirrors a long row of ridges protrusions from its spine, with flippers located below the Cataboris neck, and at the base of its tail, allow it to glide through the dark, murky waters. In short, think twice before assuming the slime glazed your feet. It's just a seaweed. It's probably not. The Natohorribor, or Cardaboris, source carcass. Got some of this from Wikipedia and some other places, guys, so yeah, it's gonna get very detailish, and it might not be completely accurate. I don't like to use Wikipedia, but sometimes when you look up certain things, it's the only thing that pops up. This isn't new to the Pacific Northwest, though it is part of a rich folklore history in this area, gathering more than 300 eyewitness accounts in the last 200 years alone, guys. 200 years. Most occur in the Cabora Bay, Victoria, British Columbia, the bay where it takes its name from, but sightings occur even long before that. The Inuit, an indigenous people who inhabited the North Pacific coast, once painted the Cabores on the canyons to ward the creature off, and it's indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest who first learned the creature migrates to the Pacific coast when spring and summer arrive. It's also sea lion. In 1943, two police officers, Inspector Robert Owens and Staff Sergeant Jack Russell, is his middle name Terrier, saw a huge sea serpent with horse-like head. Georgia Strait. Later, with two pair of binoculars, Sergeant Russell saw that they swam appeared formed continuous body with parts showing intervals as they surfaced and dived to the naked eye, slightly perfectly impersonated a sea monster. Giant oarfish, and basically they're saying that they all could be different accounts. There's more. Ifing Carcass, Vancouver Island, 1947. Supposed reign of Caddy, 1930. On 10th of November, Glacier Island near Valzez, skeleton was found. And the ice, the skeleton was 24 feet long. Wow, that's 7.5 millimeters for you guys are, from Canada. Along with flippers, remains preserved in Cordova for scientific study. The creature is thought to be a whale. There's a lot of stuff that's saying it could be something else. So what I'm gonna do is, ladies and gentlemen, tell you my story and what happened. See, this thing, Caddy, we got hired by the name. Let's just call him Lenny. That way the names can be guilty until proven innocent, or proven innocent until proven guilty, whichever you want to call it. Yeah, this guy was not a nice guy. He wanted Caddy. Well, a Caddy. Not Cabby, Caddy. He wanted this thing for himself, so he could put in his little aquarium. For private use only. See, not only do we do these things for museums, we also do it for private clients. We bag them and tag them. And at this thing, he did not want pictures. Pictures would suffice if we couldn't catch the creature. He provided everything we needed for the capture. He knew almost everything about this creature. He'd seen it when he was a kid. He's had people go after this thing once before as well, which was not the best idea. You see, he was I would beat myself out, an a-hole, a tool. There's a bunch of names I could call this guy. He was all of them. Snotty, rich, brat. He liked to procure legendary creatures, legendary artifacts, all for his private collection. He just so happened to hear about Caddy and hear that we were in Canada. He wanted Caddy for himself. He had called us up and we decided that we would meet somewhere. Now, where exactly was that? It was near a lake where Caddy had been seen not too long ago, pretty recently. And he wanted us to capture it as soon as possible. So he had already had the equipment, everything set up and ready. Well, not set up. He had it ready, but not set up. And then his buffoon guards could set anything up properly. So we had to set everything up ourselves. He provided the equipment, he provided the money, he provided the food, he provided everything that we would need to capture this creature, including the information that I just gave you. So, what had happened is that we had everything set up, waiting on this thing to pop out. See if we couldn't at least capture one of them, because there were supposed to be multiple ones. From what he said, there's no way this thing could be as old as he said it was without being multiple, more than one. Now, we knew very little other than the information we were given. He knew everything about this thing. And he didn't even give us all the information that we could have gathered on our own. He just gave us every bit of information that he had given to him. He had given to us, that was given to him. My bad. So we had everything set up. We were ready to get this ready and get it over with. He wanted at least one of his men there to make sure that we did everything right. I was kind of like, what the? Well, this guy was about 6'9", about at least close to 200 something pounds, and that's without the gear. With the gear, I'm saying about a good 300, 350. He had a military uniform, almost military. It's a private military. I don't know the name of the military. I didn't know the name of the group. Nor did I care. But he was where he was down. He had bulletproof vest, AK, 5 or 6 clips in his jacket, a pistol, 4 clips, They were kind of like a grayish black. I didn't catch his rank, nor did I care. This is private military. What do I care, right? So, we had everything set up. We even set up some of our own cameras just to make sure we could lure this thing in. And this thing was pretty long. From what he's given us information, this thing was freaking long as hell. It was about, it's 20 foot long, and we had a 20 foot long cage. Well, actually 22 foot. He wanted to make sure that we had long enough cage, and it was pretty wide as well. Not as wide as it was. It was like, you know, if it was a surfing, it could have fit in there, no issue. Could have gone back a couple 2 feet, so we had everything set up. And we were waiting. At the last minute, before midnight, the mercenary guy pulled out a container, had a call on his radio, and pulled out a container in the back of the car. That was just me. And dumped it in front, and in the back, very back of the cage. And then he set off some type of vibration in the water. With that some type of machine that this we had plugged up and he had snapped it on. And we started feeling waves. I mean, near the dock and whatnot that we were on. And it slowly, this, whatever it was, could have been Caddy. Slowly started swimming towards the cage. We caught a couple of pictures. Swam into the cage and we shut it. It got all the way and we shut it. This thing was thrashing around in the thrasher's cage like nobody's business. The mercenary pulled out the track dart gun, tossed one to me, and he told me to shoot at the same time, the same position and shoot it. Well, I did, and caught a caddy. I say a caddy. Just as that happened, another one started swimming up. It rose out of the water, looked at me, looked at the mercenary, looked at me, looked at Jim, looked at Sarah. Made some type of horrible screeches. The other one was screeching as well, but the other one was asleep. And it raised its tail up after half out of the water and swung it towards me. It knocked me into the water and I was out. Next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. I'm looking at my eyes slowly coast open. I look at Jim, I look at Sarah, and I look at them and I'm like, what happened? And they told me that it kind of got the other one, but it got caught itself. So basically, he has 2 of these things now. I don't know what he's going to do with 2 20-foot long serpents. None of my business where he's going to put them. We got paid. We're not heroes. We do this for money. We hunt mess, take pictures of mess, and sometimes we even kill them. Sometimes we capture them. We're not heroes. We do this for money. So yeah, don't look down on me. I'm here making my almighty dollar. Put my life on the line to either take pictures of these things, kill them if necessary, and if necessary, capture them. Well, you know, that's just how we do it on the gun case files. That's just how we do it here. Well, thank you everybody for listening. This one, I know it's a long one. Well, you know, I like some of them. These times are going to be long. 10, 17, 20 minutes sometimes. It's a lunch thing. Call them the lunch files, basically. Kind of funny, right? But yeah, please like and subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. Well, that said, Lord, guys, ladies, gents, good luck, good night, God bless.